Dr. David Cubby, presenting for the 15th International Conference on the Image, Inter-American Open University, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Images and Imaginaries of Artificial Intelligence. Human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Herewith recent empirical observations and research notes, wherein I develop an existential evaluation of what a photograph is and what it has become. Photography is now an intrinsically different entity, offering a far greater range of depictive potential twixt intent and realisation, all the way from daguerreotype to electro-digital capture. My recent photographic images appear as though they may have been made using AI, but that is not the case. A recharge in thinking is preferred when assessing presumption of AI authoring, co-authoring for an image that may generate a smart but inaccurate view cited within customary methods of faking unworldly realisms, such as, did you use Photoshop to distort this image? Over the past couple of years or so, major photography festivals globally began including their own take on proto-legislation regarding the authenticity of folio submissions for photographs that it is deemed required signed confirmation AI accounting for any AI applied to an image. Quality journalism, street photography and war photography typically anticipate a purist measure of photographic realism. Already naturally compromised between advantages and limitations of human optics, the camera itself is an artificial eye, formed within the limitations of machinic optics that were originally considered pictorial errors, quirks such as motion blur, depth of field, and so on, all embedded characteristics that a good photojournalist adapts to pictorial advantage. Fashion, style, advertising, product, architectural, portraiture and commercial photography, studio or location, had been supported by a large, highly skilled industry of retouching and enhancement wizardry long before the digital era. For the time being, I do not want to describe how I make this new order of images that you are viewing now on screen, although I'm sure anyone with a working knowledge of how to adapt a digital camera should be able to catch that wave. Besides, I enjoy compressing the lush realism of a photographic image with impossible distortion, delivering a unique narrative trace, as per Ain't It Funny How Time Just Slips Away. All of my photographs in this folio are now labelled copyright and HI, meaning human intelligence. If appropriate, I could add AI for artificial intelligence. Recently, I was impressed to read words of considerable substance regarding AI by Professor Jing Han, Director for Australian and Chinese Arts and Culture, Western Sydney University. In her keynote speech to a University of Adelaide symposium, Challenges AI is Facing, as follows: being the only speaker from humanities, I focused on challenges that AI is facing in replicating humanities. For artificial intelligence to replicate and replace human intelligences, it needs to understand what makes us humans. individuality, differences, creativity, imperfections, personable, individualized humour, misunderstanding, intentional or unintentional, caused by language differences and linguistic manipulation. Intangible relations, contexts which determine how we communicate with each other, anomalies, chances, none of which is based on patterns or repetitions or neutralised comprehension or cognition. One day, when we've had enough of AIsation, we will long reclaim our humanities. It seems there are two formats of intelligence wherein humans are adept. The artist chess grandmaster Marcel Duchamp understood well this duopoly of intelligences. Champion chess players learn to visualise as deeply as possible all the implications of a particular move amidst alternative moves on the checkered board. It's a kind of dynamic archiving intelligence describing the AI mindset. Computers with sufficient processing strength will defeat any human calculating the most efficient move to effect the best possible result from whatever position. Otherwise, human intelligence can be briefed philosophically in simple terms as follows. Base camp phenomenology is a setting aside of extant knowledge, engaging us to see a material object or event as though seen for the first time, as though a child, and then using mathematics, data, narrative, whichever your preferred method, describe, don't judge, until like an amoeba, description splits open and new meaning is formed. When Duchamp turned a men's urinal upside down and exhibited it at Gallery 186, New York City, that was the first ready-made sculpture and a true setting aside of extant knowledge. Artists, comedians and children excel at working in this way. Indeed, the best writers on photography, John Burgess, Susan Sontag and Roland Barthes, who all knew each other, reference themselves as engaged in a kind of loose phenomenology. Duchamp shifted the emphasis of contemporary art from viewing art, the beautiful, the ideal, to wonder and a more cerebral than haptic art. Androids don't think that way. To emphasise the title of the image to your right of this page, security androids converse. None feel a winter chill, but all accurately measure temperature.